Welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and stick around for daily stories about betrayal, revenge, and relationship advice. The house is alive with activity. Soft music plays in the background. The echoes of laughter from earlier moments still linger, and the faint scent of Emma's favorite perfume is in the air. Meanwhile, I pace anxiously in the living room, trying to steady my nerves. Emma, oblivious to my inner turmoil, is lost in her own world. She twirls in front of the mirror, adjusting her dress for what feels like the 100th time. "Mark, can you help me with this necklace?" she calls out, her voice a mix of irritation and excitement. I walk over, attempting to mask my emotions. "Emma, we need to talk. It's important." She glances at me through the mirror, her eyes flickering with impatience. "Can it wait? I'm already running late." "No, it can't," I reply firmly, though I try to soften my tone. "You've been going out a lot lately, and it's starting to bother me." Emma lets out an exasperated sigh, turning to face me with her arms crossed. "Are you seriously bringing this up now? It's just a night out with my friends. I'm not doing anything wrong." "I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong," I explain, keeping my voice calm despite the rising tension. "But it's the same thing every weekend. You go out, and I'm left here alone. It feels like your social life matters more to you than our marriage." Emma tugs at her dress, visibly frustrated. "Mark, this is ridiculous. I need time with my friends. Everyone has hobbies or social activities. I'm just trying to enjoy myself. Is it just fun?" I press, my voice trembling. "Or is there something more going on?" Her face flushes with a mix of anger and hurt. "Are you accusing me of cheating?" "No," I say, exasperated. "I'm not accusing you of anything, but when you go out so often and say so little about it, I can't help but wonder. It feels like you're keeping part of your life from me." Emma's eyes narrow defiantly. "I'm not a child, Mark. I don't need to account for every second of my life to you. I'm just out with friends. Nothing more." Taking a deep breath, I try to stay composed. "I'm not asking you to stop seeing your friends. I just want you to consider how this affects us. I need to feel like I'm a priority too, Emma. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we can keep moving forward like this." For a moment, her expression softens, but frustration quickly returns. "You're being controlling, Mark. I feel trapped. If you can't trust me to go out and enjoy time with my friends, maybe the problem is your own insecurity." Her words hit hard, and I take a step back, the weight of her accusations sinking in. "Maybe you're right," I admit quietly. "Maybe I am insecure, but I can't ignore how this is making me feel." She shakes her head, sighing deeply. "I'm going out now. We can talk about this later if you're still upset." With that, Emma grabs her purse and walks out the door, leaving me standing alone in the dimly lit hallway. The soft click of the door closing behind her feels like a final blow as I sink onto the couch. The silence in the house is deafening, echoing the distance that seems to grow between us with each passing weekend. The next morning, the tension still lingers in the air. Emma and I occupy opposite sides of the house, both lost in thought after a restless night. I decide it's time to confront her directly, no more skirting around the issue. I wait for her in the living room, where the morning sunlight streams through the curtains, casting long shadows that only add to the somber atmosphere. When Emma finally appears, still groggy, she notices the tension immediately. "Good morning," she says, attempting a cheerful tone. "What's up?" "Good morning," I reply evenly, determined to stay composed. "We need to talk." Emma sets her coffee mug on the table and perches on the edge of the sofa, her expression guarded. "About what?" I take a deep breath, preparing myself. "Emma, I can't keep doing this every weekend. You're out with your friends, and I'm left here alone. I've tried to let it go, but it's eating away at me. I need to know where we stand." Her face clouds with annoyance. "Mark, we've been over this. I go out, I have fun, and I come home. It's not like I'm doing anything wrong. This isn't about what you're doing, I counter, striving to keep my frustration in check. It's about how it makes me feel. I'm beginning to feel like your social life matters more to you than our relationship. Her brows furrow as she shakes her head in disbelief. So, what? Are you saying I should stop seeing my friends? No, I reply firmly. I'm saying we need balance. I've been patient, but I can't keep feeling like I'm not a priority. I need to know if you're committed to us. Emma's expression hardens as she crosses her arms. So now you're giving me an ultimatum? Yes, I admit, my voice steady even though my heart races. Either we work on this together and find balance, or we need to reconsider what this relationship is about. I can't keep living like this. Her face flushes with anger as she stands up abruptly. This is absurd, Mark. You're being unreasonable. I need to live my life. If you can't accept that, maybe you should rethink your own perspective. It's not about controlling you, I argue, my voice straining. It's about preserving what matters to me. I need to know we're building something together, not drifting apart. Emma shakes her head in exasperation. You're suffocating me, Mark. I need space. If you can't handle that, maybe we're better off apart. Her words hit me like a physical blow, but I stand my ground. If that's how you feel, then maybe we do need to take a step back. I can't keep being in a relationship where I feel invisible and unimportant. Emma grabs her purse with swift, deliberate movements. Fine, I'll go. We can talk later, but I'm not rushing into any decisions, she says as sharply, and the door slams shut behind her. I sink back onto the sofa, a wave of despair mixed with a hard resolve washing over me. The ultimatum has been made, and now it's a waiting game to see how things unfold. The house feels colder, emptier, as if the very walls are pulling away from me. I can't help but wonder if this marks the beginning of the end. The silence that follows is deafening, heavy with the lingering echoes of our argument. Alone with my thoughts, the uncertainty of our future looms like a dark cloud. Emma's words from earlier hang in the air like an unshakable mist, refusing to dissipate. Hours later, I find myself in the living room surrounded by half-packed boxes. The space feels strange now, stripped of its usual warmth, almost alien, a sharp reminder of the choices that lie ahead. Each item I carefully place in a box seems to carry the weight of the life I'm preparing to leave behind. The only sound is the steady ticking of the clock on the wall, its rhythm a constant reminder of time slipping away. Through the silence, I hear Emma's faint laughter from outside as she heads off for another evening with her friends. The sound echoes through the empty house, intensifying the loneliness that wraps itself around me. I'm in the middle of sealing a box when I hear the familiar click of the door lock turning. Emma's key rattles as she enters, and I brace myself, taking a deep breath. As she steps inside, her laughter fades into an uncomfortable silence. She freezes, her carefree demeanor vanishing as her gaze lands on the stacked boxes near the door. Her expression shifts from confusion to seriousness as she notices the note I left on the coffee table. Mark, she calls out, her voice tentative, the quiet of the house amplifying her uncertainty. Mark, where are you? I step out from the bedroom, trying to steady myself, despite the storm of emotions inside me. I'm here, I say simply. Emma's fingers tremble slightly as she picks up the note, reading it aloud, her voice breaking. Emma, I can't keep living this way. I hope you find what you're looking for. I need to move on. Mark, her face crumples, shock and hurt flashing in her eyes. You're leaving? Just like that. I never wanted it to come to this, I reply, my voice heavy with regret. But I can't keep going on like this, feeling like an afterthought. I've tried, Emma, I really have, but we're stuck. Tears well up in her eyes as she steps closer. Mark, please let's talk about this. Don't do this. We can figure something out. Her distress is palpable, but it feels like we're stuck in an endless loop. I need space, I admit, trying to find clarity amidst the chaos. I have to step back and figure out where I stand. A tear slips down Emma's cheek, and she brushes it away, her gaze sweeping over the packed boxes. Her voice trembles. So this is it? You're just walking away without giving us a real chance to fix this? It's not that simple, I respond, my voice strained as I struggle to keep my composure. I've reached a point where I have to choose what's best for me. If you need time to sort out your priorities, then I need the same. Her expression hardens, anger flashing in her eyes, mixing with desperation. So you're just giving up? Is this really how it ends? I don't want it to, I admit, my throat tightening with emotion. But I can't keep waiting for something to change. I need to move forward, Emma. For myself. For a long moment, she stands there silent and defeated. Her shoulders slump under the weight of unspoken thoughts, the room feeling heavier with each passing second. Finally, Emma exhales deeply, her voice soft but resigned. If this is what you want, then go. I swallow hard, picking up the last of my things. I'm sorry, Emma. I really am. I hope you find what you're looking for. As I make my way to the door, I pause to take one final look at the home we shared. Memories flood my mind, happy moments now tainted by sorrow. With one last glance, I step out into the night, leaving behind the life we once built together. The door closes behind me with quiet finality, and the silence of the house feels all-encompassing. Emma's muffled sobs echo faintly behind me, each one slicing through me as I walk away. The weight of our separation settles in, and the future ahead feels uncertain, stark, and unfamiliar. Driving through the city, the lights blur into streaks against the dark sky, the deep ache in my chest growing with each passing mile. I realize that something irrevocable has shifted, but the road ahead is uncharted. It's the only path left to take. In the days following my departure, everything for Emma feels like a haze. The house, once vibrant with life, now feels suffocatingly empty. Every room is a reminder of the absence I've left behind. She throws herself into various activities in an attempt to distract herself, but nothing can alleviate the weight of regret and uncertainty that presses down on her. One afternoon, Emma finds herself at her sister Anna's house, seeking refuge. Anna has always been her steady support through the turmoil, and Emma hopes that a conversation with her might bring some clarity. As the door opens, Anna pulls Emma into a warm embrace. "You look like you could use a cup of tea and someone to talk to," Anna says gently. Emma nods, offering a faint smile as she sinks into the familiar comfort of her sister's home, hoping the conversation will offer her the answers she so desperately seeks. Sitting on the couch, Emma doesn't know where to start. Her voice is heavy with exhaustion. "Everything feels like it's falling apart," she admits, looking down at her hands in defeat. Anna returns shortly, bringing 2 mugs of steaming tea. She hands one to Emma before settling beside her. "Start wherever you feel comfortable," she says gently. Sometimes just saying it aloud helps. Emma stares into her tea for a moment, collecting her thoughts before speaking. "Mark left a few days ago. He packed up and just walked out. I didn't think he would actually do it." Anna's expression shifts, concern flickering in her eyes. "How are you holding up?" Emma's voice cracks as she responds, her words barely escaping. "I don't even know. I was so caught up in going out and having fun that I didn't realize how much I was neglecting him. I thought he was overreacting, but now I'm not so sure. I should have listened." Anna reaches out, gently placing her hand over Emma's. "It's hard to see clearly when you're so close to everything. Sometimes you need distance to really understand what matters." Tears begin to spill from Emma's eyes as she nods. "I was so dismissive. I just thought everything would work itself out. But now, it feels like I've lost everything." Before Anna can respond, the doorbell rings, interrupting the moment. She excuses herself to answer it, returning moments later with a sealed envelope in hand. "This came for you," she says, handing it to Emma. "It's from Mark's lawyer." Emma's heart skips a beat as she takes the envelope, her hand shaking as she opens it. Inside is a formal letter, stark and final, detailing the initiation of divorce proceedings. Her face pales as she reads it. "He's actually filed," Emma whispers, her voice barely above a breath. "He's really going through with this." Anna's face softens with compassion. "I'm so sorry, Emma. I know this must be hard to process." Emma leans back against the couch, overwhelmed with emotion. "I didn't think it would come to this. I thought we had more time. I didn't realize how serious he was." Anna moves closer, gently rubbing her sister's back. "Sometimes it takes something drastic to make us realize the impact of our actions. It sounds like you're starting to see how much Mark meant to you." Tears begin to fall freely as Emma nods, her chest heavy with regret. "I took him for granted. I thought I could have it all, my freedom, my nights out, and still keep him in my life. But now I see how wrong I was." Anna's voice remains steady and soothing, offering support, acknowledging that is important, even if it's painful. It's part of growth, even if it hurts. Emma looks back at the letter in her hands, the reality of her situation sinking in. "I told myself it wasn't a big deal, that Mark would understand. But I see now that I betrayed his trust. I pushed him away." Anna squeezes her hand gently. "This is a tough lesson, Emma, but it's one that can help you move forward. You can't undo what's been done, but you can learn from it, and you can grow." Taking a deep breath, Emma wipes her tears and straightens up a little. "I have to face this. I have to take responsibility for my mistakes and make sure I don't repeat them." As their conversation continues, Emma begins to feel the first glimmer of clarity through the haze of pain. The end of her marriage is a harsh awakening, but it also offers an opportunity to understand herself better, confront her choices, and change. The road to healing will be long and difficult, but Emma knows it's one she must take. Her nights of fleeting fun have cost her something irreplaceable, and as the weight of the divorce papers rests in her lap, she resolves to move forward, carrying the lessons of her loss with her.